Hey, how's it going, guys? Today I'm going to show you how to quickly clean out your nozzle on a GeeeTech Mizar S 3D printer. The first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to reverse your filament a little bit. So I've already gone ahead and preheated my nozzle, and we're just going to wait for that to back out a little. We don't need to go all the way, just enough that we can pull out the bowden tube. As you can see, as it's coming out now, there's a little glob in there and some stringing. And I noticed that it was starting to act like it was plugging up. Now this black filament I have from MacWorks is not very good. It's not. I'm running out of it, which is great. I'm almost done with it, but yeah. Once you're confident that your the string is out, you can go ahead and stop that and just let it sit here and keep the nozzle hot. So now on the Mizar S, I think by default mine came like this too, but you take off the little C-clip. And it may not actually want to depress, and that's okay. So we just go ahead and take the largest wrench that was provided with the Mizar S, and we go with the small side, and you can just grab onto this up here. Turn it a little bit counterclockwise, and now when you push, the plunger should depress. You can go ahead and pull out the bowden tube. Now that the bowden tube is pulled out, you can see I do have a clog in here. So usually what I do is I just go ahead and I use these tweezers and I pull it out while it's hot. There. Now I've gone ahead and pulled that out. It's best to do it while the tube is fresh out so that it's still nice and warm and it'll pull right out. These tweezers also come with the Mizar S, by the way. And that was stuck in the tube before. So now we have a nice clear path. The tube's a little dirtied up, but I don't think it'll cause any problems. Now, what you want to go ahead and do is the printer came with these tools as well. This one that looks like a little acupuncture needle is for cleaning out the very tip of the nozzle afterwards, and this bar. And this bar is meant to be put down through the top. And if you've got a bit of a jam up, it'll feel a little bit like thick pudding as you're pushing down, and it should. My bad. So I just had to cut there real quick. My little metal plunger was not pushing down, and it turns out that my nozzle was cooling itself down. So I forgot that in the past, when I unload, I go to preheat first so that it doesn't go ahead and cool itself back down in between when I'm loading and unloading the filaments. So we'll just wait for that to get up to temperature. Alright, now that we're pretty much back up to temperature, we can take our tool and just put it through the top here. We run it down, and again, if it feels like pudding and you start seeing crap come out like that, then there was some gunk built up in the nozzle. You can go ahead and either, if you're intrepid, you can grab it with your fingers, or you can just use the tweezers and just pull it off. And then you can go ahead and take the little acupuncture looking tool and take this one out. This is a little finicky because it's really small and it likes to bend up easy, but if you get it in there just right, eventually you just wangle it around here. Come on, there we go. Push it through and just make sure the end of the nozzle is nice and clear. And that's something I like to do, is I like to take the tweezers and just kind of go around the outside and gently scrape. Just to make sure any gunkies on there come off. Sorry, I got a little bit on the end of the tweezer there. Now, before you go ahead and load it back up again, as we saw in the tube here before, yeah, there's some chunkies in there where it melted prematurely. So we're going to want to go ahead and we'll go back to change, we'll go load. Wait for that for a moment. Alright, now that it's up to temperature, let's go ahead, confirm. We'll let that push that back through the tube. Normally you shouldn't have to really do this, but again, if you've got some mediocre filament like I do, or you've had some bad print settings, maybe your temperature was set too low or too high, or you've got something going on with your cooling fan not doing a good job keeping it from melting in the tube, this is pretty handy. So I'll wait until that starts coming out. Okay, So then we've got this long wisp coming out and some blobs. And this can cause some print quality issues and can give you some nasty headaches down the road. So we just let that come out until it's pretty much even, and then we go ahead and pause it. So cancel. Just take a pair of snips or pliers. I'm doing all this one-handed because I can't find my tripod. Yeah, looks good. We'll go unload. Now that it's finished heating, we go confirm. It'll retract this back inside a little bit. Just wait a couple seconds and stop. Now what we'll do is we'll go ahead and put this back inside. So you push down on this little plunger, and don't tighten this up yet. Leave it about maybe a quarter of a turn loosened up. Just because what happens with bowden tubes is that if they're not in there perfectly flush at the bottom and it's not really tight, your filament can start leaking out of the tube, and it'll end up clogging up on the outside and all over the top of your nozzle, and it'll make a total mess inside. So leave this like a quarter of a turn loosened up, push down on the plunger, and insert this all the way to the bottom, which I'm going to do here in just a sec. I'll just do a quick cut. There, I've gone ahead and I've pushed this tube all the way down, and then what you're going to want to do is just give this a little tighten and tighten that back up. Just a little bit of torque on it. So now it's nice and secure. This little plunger won't go down, and then to top it off, put our little C-clip on. Okay. There we go. So now that's back on. We go ahead and hit load. And it's almost done heating. Confirm. Now, since the filament wasn't retracted too far back, it should be pretty quick for it to start coming out on the other end. There we go. And before I did this, this was coming out in thin little spirals, and it was clinging onto the nozzle. So you'll know if it's unclogged if it comes out as like a nice, decently thick straight line straight down. So that looks good. All done. You can go ahead and cancel it. You don't have to waste all that filament. Go ahead and just, well, you can either, again, pull it off, or you can just go ahead and grab it with your included tweezers, and you're all set. You've gone ahead and unplugged your nozzle.